Good morning. Again, I'm going to make a short video, even though I posted it, about the Charlie Kirk assassination. And the irony, not the irony, but there are no coincidences with the Most High. As it is written in 1 Samuel 2:6, it says, I kill and I make alive. I bringeth down to the grave and I raiseth up. And also in Isaiah 45:7, it says, I create light and create darkness. I create peace and evil. I, Yahuwah, do all these things. Now, getting to the assassination. I don't hate the guy. Most of what he said was true and I agreed with. Probably, I would say 70% of what he spoke, I agreed with. But listen at the irony. And I'm somewhat I'm sad. I hate to see anybody get taken out because it's not the Most High's will that anybody should perish. But there are some out here who are indeed his enemies. So check it out. He arrogantly goes around. He often makes talking points against Hebrews, blacks, aka Negroes, aka colors, aka gangsters or gangs, aka thugs. They've created so many bywords for us over the history, but they all are secret code names for Negroes or niggas. Okay. Now he's sitting under a tent like he's some kind of, big mighty person, bold, arrogant, proud. And on the tent, it says American comeback. Listen to these things. And around the edges of the tent, it says, prove me wrong. Now, the last question posed to him was something about mass shootings in America. And the last words this devil had to say, including or not including gang violence. Then bam, soon as the words came out of his mouth, trying to point the finger at Hebrew Israelites, Negroes, aka or better known as God's people, the Most High's people, the assassin's bullets rains out and smacks him down early. Answer this question, and thus he was proven wrong because the assassin was not a Negro. He was a European. So not only was he proven wrong and cut short, but his last words, the Most High smacked him down because he always I live by a philosophy and I despise the fact that I see a lot of them try to speak on issues. He was against reparations. It's just like I see a lot of other heathens trying to claim that George Floyd have the audacity to tell you to don't believe your lying eyes and say George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. That's how ridiculous these devils are. The whole world saw as a white European police officer kneeled on his neck while George Floyd cried out, I can't breathe for 6 minutes, directly affecting him dying. Yet they will blow smoke up your eyes and say, don't believe what you saw. He died of fentanyl. And we all know that fentanyl, you can't even touch it, it'll pass you. You'll pass out. They had police officers, they touched it, it'll go through your skin and knock you out. Fentanyl don't slowly take you out. It takes you out like that. That's what they push to put you under when you go into surgery. As soon as that stuff hits your vein, you out of it. That's how diabolical these devils are. And they have a long history of lying and rewriting history and changing the narrative to cover up the dust, to cover up their sins, just like Cain did. When he murdered Abel, the righteous, he dissembled before the Most High. That means he put on a false face and he tried to hide his sins. This is spiritually discerned by turning dirt or covering the blood of his righteous brother, turning dust over it. Get it? Tried to cover it up. Think about that. And that's what Satan's children do to this day. So with that being said, and think about it, America comeback, he was cut short. Prove me wrong, he was proven wrong. And he was knocked down, last words out of his mouth, trying to point the finger at Hebrew Israelites The ones this nation was built on wouldn't be a superpower, wouldn't be the wealthiest nation on earth, because wherever the children of Israel was, that nation went on to be a superpower in the earth. It began with ancient Egypt. We were captive there. Then Babylon, then ancient Assyria, which was the Persians, then the Grecians, Rome, and now America. Wherever the children of Israel was captive, and in this last dispensation, America, those are very spiritually significant signs. A lot of what he said was just common sense. It didn't take no brilliance. When he was speaking with transgenders and things like that. However, and I won't go into how it works from the heavens, how an evil spirit is sent into a person to do the will of the Most High. They compete to do his will. Even the evil spirit. Hey, I'll go down there and lie to him. And if it pleases the Most High, you know what? I like that idea. Make it so. That's how that works. You know, so his last words was trying to point the fingers at us when they were the ones that created the conditions. They put the drugs in our neighborhoods. It's wide known knowledge that the CIA, when they was in Afghanistan, this is going on for centuries, that they've been putting liquor, drugs in our neighborhood. They fix the book so you won't get hired. They cook the books so they throw the book at you so you get arrested and get some most cheap labor out of you in the prisons. And now they laugh and mock at it. I think the Most High is saying no more. Then you got a lot of these devils out here saying George Floyd didn't die from a knee to the neck and the whole world saw it. No, nigga, he died from fentanyl. Yeah, okay. That Ukrainian woman. Well, how would they react if we said Kirk didn't die from a gunshot wound? He died from fentanyl, you know? And I'm going to be honest with you. I think they hate the fact that it wasn't a black shooter. I got suspicious when they interrogated the first suspect. I said, oh, here we go again. Just like the movie Rosewood. They've always taken one of us and sacrificed us, which means killed us, executed us for things that they done, for their sins. Almost like a sacrificial lamb. You saw Rosewood, which was based on a true story in Florida, Rosewood, Florida. There's a book, 100 million lynchings of black men over 400 years. And now that this nation has built up its wealth off of hundreds of years of subjugation, rape, murder, and free labor, and another of Jim Crow and segregation, and now they pointing a finger. Now you should understand what is meant by the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Satan's children accuse us day and night before him. When we are the victims, they victimize us even in death. Look at George Floyd. Oh, that nigga had a rap sheet this long and he died of fentanyl. That's bullshit. But when it's one of them, oh, he was a great husband and all that, he was a Christian, don't mean he getting into the kingdom. Charlie Kirk wasn't no keeper of the commandments. And he didn't have a robe. He may try to sneak in like the parable. And the king saw him and said, how you get in here without a robe? They don't even understand what that means. The kingdom has 12 gates. You have to get in by a branch. You have to be born again. And he wasn't born again. And they really have no right to put their mouth on the Hebrew scriptures. They despise the very ones that they have to be born by. I don't hate anybody. They are our enemies. The scriptures tell you that, which tells you they're going to do horribly they're going to treat us horribly. Doesn't mean that we're enemies of theirs. They come in our neighborhoods. We don't treat them bad. We go to their neighborhoods. We get ran out. That's history. There's truth, a little bit of truth on both sides, both the right and the left. There's truth. There's truth in all lies. You just have to have wisdom to discern where it is. Even when Satan spoke to Eve, there was truth in what he said, but there was a lie in there somewhere, and that little bit of a lie made it deadly. With that being said, I think I'll end it there. That's a spiritual observation. There are no coincidences with the Most High. He kills, makes life. He took them out. The Most High took them out of here. Yep. The scriptures tell you that. A sparrow can't fall from the tree without the Most High Yahuwah's permission. And then his last words, trying to point, not including, or he said, including or not including gang violence. Bam! As soon as he said gang violence, that's Negroes, pointing the finger at us. Negroes have never indulged in mass shootings like that. Don't even include us in that. You desecrated our neighborhoods, just like in Gary, right? I live in Gary, Indiana. To this day, there are signs of racism still there. a state road that ain't paved through the city because it goes through the city of blacks, of Hebrews. But it's clean and paved everywhere else. Emissions laws, which makes us pay more to get our cars drivable. Nowhere else but around this area. It's still racism. They're still sundown towns. They deny, most of them deny who the true children of Israel is. And they're about to find out real fast, because in this generation, in Trump's lifetime, Trump will get to see the Son of Man, because he is the little horn, like I've been saying for over 10 years now. And our redemption is coming in this day. But like it says, he will make war with the saints. And I see a lot of them raising up, and they're starting to stoke racial violence again. And what do? When kingdoms crumble, men's hearts crumble. When kingdoms begin to weaken, their hearts weaken. And historically, the first thing they go after is us. So it's been a pattern with them. Satan's children go throughout the earth. What do? Kill, steal, and destroy. So here you have it. He's like a white Martin Luther King to them. They're saying he's a martyr now. Think about that. Tent said, American comeback. Ain't gonna be no comeback. Ain't gonna be no comeback. Prove me wrong. Not only the symbolism of him being cut short by the Most High, he was proven wrong in his assassination. Then the last words out of his mouth was trying to accuse God's people for things that they afflicted us. That's it. The truth.